Hey, I'm Eric, and I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out my video pinned in my profile. So after several comments and messages asking if I was going to listen to this album, I'm finally to the part of the list where I listened to 1995's Jagged Little Pill from Alanis Morrisette. So she had 5 hit singles off of this album, and for some reason I thought they were spread across 2 different albums. Those 5 songs were on 2 different albums, not all on one. So basically, I've heard half of this album already. But I've never listened to the entire album. Heard all 5 of those songs, of course, either on radio or TV or whatever. And I like them. I love all those songs. They're great songs. For me, the highlights for me are in between the singles on the album. All I Really Want, Right Through You, ending with Wake Up, and then those are hot songs, incredible songs. I really like those, probably more. And don't get me wrong, I love all the singles that are on this album. I love those, hands down. But these other songs in between are just as good and just as powerful as those. And probably the one that I connected with the most was Forgiven. I was actually listening to this album while I was mowing the lawn today, and actually pulled that one back and played that one twice. And I haven't had a chance to pull apart all the lyrics and study that song, but I really connected with that one. That's probably my favorite song on the entire album is Forgiven. And then I, just by pure accident, like I said, I was mowing the lawn when I was listening to it, and the last song plays, and then there's this long silence, and I was so busy working I didn't stop and change playlists or anything. I just left it, and then all of a sudden the a cappella song, and I don't remember what the name of it is, but the a cappella song where she's talking about being in her lover's apartment and dancing in the shower and laying in the bed, that plays. that is quite a song. That's quite a song. It surprised me because I didn't know it was there, and then all of a sudden she started singing, and she, I'm sure if you've heard the album, you've heard the song. I think my favorite part of the entire album, I mean, aside from her lyrics that she writes that are just raw and honest, and she just does not cut anybody any slack or pull any punches in what she's talking about. But there's a couple of songs where when she's singing, and I know a lot of people are not a fan of her voice, but when she's singing, where she's almost, her voice sounds like she's at the edge of sanity. Just the way she's straining and singing. There was a couple of places on the album that I got chills when she was singing. This is a fantastic album. I don't know why I thought those singles were across 2 different albums. Well, I do know why. In 1995, I had a newborn. My son was born, and so I really wasn't coherent about anything. So I didn't know those were on 2 different albums. But I don't know why I've never gone back and listened to the entire album as a whole. I think we just hear those 5 songs so many times, on different stations and different avenues. I think personally, and I think this might be it. We just forget there's the rest of the album there, because we hear those songs all the time. They play everywhere, on just a lot of different stations, and so I think we forget there's more to that album. And man, the rest of that album is just so good. I can see why so many. I went and read an article just a little bit ago about it, and I can see why so many people, especially female singers, cite that album as a turning point in their not just their career, but their lives. Kelly Clarkson said it changed the way that she wrote songs. People like Avril Lavigne said it was the turning point in her life, let alone her career. I can see why. It's the first album that I think that I can think of that a woman just laid the wood to every man she could get her hands on. She just starts swinging and does not stop, and it's just so raw and powerful. And I loved it. I was just surprised more by the songs that aren't on the radio than I was by anything. There's those songs in between are just as good. She could have released a couple more songs off of that album, and they'd have gone straight to the top. So for those of you who have been commenting and messaging and asking if I was going to listen to this album, there you go. I just listened to it today. I will definitely be listening to it again. It's such a powerful album. I will definitely be listening to this one again. I already have some of those other songs on other playlists, and so I am shocked that I've never listened to the album as popular as it is. So anyway, there you go. I listened to it. Let me know what you think of the album. If you're a fan of the album or a fan of Alanis, let me know what you think. If you've never heard it, you have not heard enough by hearing those 5 songs that she released as singles. You have not heard enough of that album. You need to go listen to the whole album. And you need to be ready. Especially if you're a guy, you need to be ready to listen for what is on that album. I remember when it first came out that there was this undercurrent, these murmurings of guys need to be afraid of this album, and it's true. It's a really strong album, and it's not for weak-hearted guys. I'll tell you that. But it's a great album, and if you have not heard it, if all you've heard is the stuff you've heard on the radio or MTV or whatever, do yourself a favor and check out the rest of the album and let me know what you think.